Let me introduce myself properly to you guys, so that it doesn't look like I just came up all of a sudden one day and started teaching about spirituality, or doesn't look like maybe I've been somewhere hiding, learning everything about spirituality. No. Actually, as a growing up child, I never knew that my life would turn out to be this way. If you ask my people, they will tell you I am naturally shy. I'm the shy type. I'm an introvert, although I play a lot. I love playing, but that playing will have to be with those that I know too well. So while growing up, as a young girl, I didn't notice anything in my life until when I got into the university. I started noticing strange things happening in my life. Strange things happening in my life. But I decided to keep everything all to myself so that I don't look weird before people. While we were still in school, that was when my spiritual battle started. Everything about spirituality started while I was still in school. That was when I started seeing things that people are not seeing. Started experiencing spiritual things. Started getting messages that I didn't know were messages. Whenever I get them, I will overlook them. And so my life continued that way until I got married. But even before I got married, everything about my marriage was shown to me. Everything that would take place before and after my marriage was shown to me. But I brushed everything aside because I didn't know what was actually happening to me until I got married and everything started unfolding before me. And then that was when I started getting worried about who I am. So, but what it did for me was it brought me closer to God. Yes, I know that right from childhood, I love everything about God. I love church so much. I have this passion for God. I have this feeling for God. Like, it's a feeling that you can have for your fellow human being, even up till now. I still have that same feeling for God. I see God as a man. I fall in love with him. I'm not joking. I'm not joking at all. I'm not trying to paint the word to make it sound so beautiful. No, but I am in love with God. That's how I'll put it. I'm in love with him. Everything about him makes me go crazy. So when I got married, everything started unfolding. First, with my guardian angel appearing to tell me what will take place after my marriage, how my marriage will be, everything about spirituality in my life. But I still didn't get the message very well until the whole drama started unfolding, one after the other. Throughout my childbearing age, when I was still giving birth to kids, whatsoever he will come to show me must surely come to pass. Everything he tells me will surely come to pass. But I still bottled everything up because I don't want to deviate from, the teachings that I received while growing up. And I don't want people to see me as, evil or whatever. I bottled everything up. I never told my family about the things I saw. I kept everything all to myself. And I still mingle with people the normal way. But then, I started noticing changes. It started with my dressing. I started deviating from the way I usually dress. Not that I put on so skimpy wears, no, but I don't know how to explain it, but my attire changed. Whatever that will show my body now looks as if I am naked, even up till date. So I decided to adapt to that one. I changed my mode of dressing, and my life still continued that same way until everything started. It actually started 2011. That was when the whole thing actually came to limelight. In 2011, I didn't know that someone actually charmed me, or should I say poisoned me, using my clothes. And so when I put on the clothes, that was how I started having constant fever. I had that sickness for 1 full year. When I mean 1 full year, I'm not joking. I mean, like, in the month of January, I will be sick for like 20 days. And then for the remaining 10 days, I will be okay. And then we enter into the month of February, the sickness will start again for like 20 or 21 days. And after that, the remaining 10 days, I will be okay. It continued like that until it got to a month where it stopped giving me that break. From the first day of that month to the last day of that month, I was still sick. I kept on being sick throughout, day in, day out, night in, night out. There was no break at all. We visited all kinds of hospitals, so many hospitals. At a point, 3 doctors started treating me individually. I visited their hospitals just for me to, stay alive. They ran so many tests, nothing was found. One of them decided to send me on an X-ray, nothing was found. The other one sent me for an ultrasound, nothing was found, but I was still sick. One of them, actually, that was our family doctor, he called me an Obanje. Told my husband that I am an Obanje, that my husband should know what to do spiritually to save me, because they couldn't detect what was actually wrong with me, and I was dying silently. It got to a point that I don't take my bed anymore because I can't even stand to bed. It was my husband who would wake me up in the morning, take me to the bedroom, bed me, dress me up, put me on the bed, bring my food there. That was my daily lifestyle. I was just like a vegetable. Every day, for months, I don't see the sunlight. Me coming out to see the sunlight means we are going to the hospital. And then once we are back home, I will remain indoors. And it lasted like that for 10 good months. And then on the 11th month, my family decided to consult a reverend father, a very powerful priest. And the priest came to my father's village for prayers, for a 3 days prayer. And so we were all asked to come back wherever you are staying. We all gathered together, and I came home. I returned. I was seriously sick when I came home for that prayer. So while the prayer was going on, God so kind, I begged God to reveal my case to the priest. Because once the priest sees your case, he will voice it out, and then people will start praying. And so my case was one of the last cases the priest talked about. And he asked me to come out before everybody. And I came out, and he asked people to stretch out their hands upon me and begin their prayer. And everybody did as he said. And after the prayers, the priest called me and asked me if I have faith, if I believe that the prayers will work. And I said yes. And I believed so much because initially he didn't see my sickness. He was about closing that prayer when I started crying and praying where I was staying, because I was shivering, asking God to reveal my sickness to the priest. I was saying it inside my heart. I couldn't even talk because I don't have the strength to talk. But it was that time that the priest decided to stop and say that he's getting a message about a sick person. And then that was how they prayed for me. And gradually, I started getting my healing. I started getting my healing. Little by little. It didn't happen like magic. Little by little. The sickness that doesn't give me chance any longer started giving me like 1 week break. From 1 week, it turned to 2 weeks break. From 2 weeks to 3 weeks. From 3 weeks, it stopped. The sickness stopped entirely. And it was during that prayer that the priest revealed the cause of my sickness. How somebody used my material to charm me and to remove me entirely from my husband's house. So when I got better, I got no choice but to focus on God. Yes, I know I love him so much, but then that love doubled. I decided to hug him. I decided to hold God so tight. He became my pillar, my backbone, my everything, my source of strength. And so as days goes by, everything about this spirituality started unfolding. From days to months to years. And it got to the stage that I started seeing both dead people, people who have died. I started seeing their spirits. And it's not just seeing their spirits, but the spirits will come to me to tell me what happened to them. If somebody is responsible for their death, or if they died a natural death. Some of them will come to tell me what is happening in their home and ask me to go and deliver a message to their loved ones. From there, I started seeing the heavenly beings. I know it sounds so strange, but this is a reality. And when I mean I started seeing, I don't mean in the dream. I know I have the gift of dreams, but I was seeing them live, not in the dream. So when it got to the stage of seeing the heavenly beings, I became worried. So I decided to open up to my husband. And I told him the things I was seeing. My husband himself became worried. He thought I was going mad. I can never lie down to sleep alone. It's not possible. Whenever I get into the room, I will see a being, either a dead person or the heavenly beings, or a message will come. And there are times when I will be praying all alone. I don't know if anybody has experienced that. Whenever I'm deep in prayer, I will start hearing voices, people's voices that join me in that prayer. They will be chorusing, joining me in the prayer. And whenever it happens, I will keep quiet. I will no longer pray, just to be sure of what I was hearing. And after some time, when I start, they will continue again. And then I will run away, because at that time I was still running. I never knew that I was being called. I never knew until I started coming in contact with people who are spiritually powerful. They started telling me that God is calling me, that I should answer my call. But if you ever mention that God is calling me, that's the end of my relationship with you. I will no longer come near you, because I don't want to hear that. That wasn't my plan for myself. I planned something great for myself. But it continued this way. The beings kept on coming out every now and then, live, not in the dream. So what I did was, I decided to go and see my parish priest. And I told him everything, how everything started. And he gave me some prayers, a prayer to say for 1 month. That after the prayer, I will get to know if God is actually the one calling me, or if the calling is from somewhere else. And so I went into that prayer, and I prayed that prayer for 1 month. And at the end of that prayer, that was when I got the message. That was when I saw a being dressed in a warrior's attire, looking like St. Michael. And he asked me to stretch out my hands, and I stretched out my hands. And he poured some shiny substance, like golden in color, and told me that he has empowered me, and that the time has come for me to start. And then he vanished. But it was just like still a fairy tale to me. I still didn't believe it. So what I did was I started praying, telling God that I don't want to be seeing them live anymore, because it was so scary. It was so scary. You won't understand what I'm trying to say. It was so scary. I begged God to stop them from coming live, that I don't want to see them live anymore. Whatever message they have for me, they should come through the dreams, since I have the gift of dreams. And God, being a merciful God, heard that prayer, and they stopped coming live, and then started coming through the dreams. Every night, I must get a message through the dream. Every night, I must get a message. And despite the messages that I've been receiving, that the time has come for me to start, I still didn't start because that was not my plan. Actually, this wasn't my lifestyle. I had a different lifestyle as a young girl. I wanted to be a celebrity, an international celebrity. Yes, and I ventured into it. I joined the beauty pageant and I won several times. But then I didn't further. I didn't forge ahead. And I can't tell the reason why. And so when they started coming through the dreams, started giving me messages on what to do for people, what to do for myself, what to do for my family, I became so worried. So worried. So I decided to be mingling with people who are spiritually gifted to see if they can help me out. But they were all telling me that I should answer my call. I should answer my call. Wherever I go, they said I should answer my call. Wherever I go, I became frustrated, not knowing what to do. And then, one day, my problem started. It was actually the problem that pushed me into accepting this call. I started having problem at my place of work. A very big problem. I didn't know how to solve it. Nobody could help me. I contacted so many spiritualists, so many powerful people, men of God, to help me out with the problem. And all these people that I contacted told me one thing, that I'm the only person that can solve that problem. And I still didn't get the message. To me, what I believed then was that they didn't want to help me. It got to a stage that I decided to tell God that I have accepted. I started praying daily, telling him that I have accepted to answer my call, but just for him to help me out with that problem. And then one night I had a dream where a woman, an elderly woman, well-aged, told me that I should stop putting on anything artificial on my head. And that made me so mad. I got angry. I refused. I told her that nobody has the right to tell me what to do, that I will keep on wearing whatever I want to wear. And so the next day, out of anger, I went to the market and I bought 2 wigs, 2 expensive wigs. I bought 2 wigs. And then that was where everything started again. I started having headache, an unending headache, a headache that refused to stop. Every day when I go to work, before 12 o'clock or 1 in the afternoon, I'll pull off the wig, put it inside my handbag, and I'll carry my scattered hair like that until the close of work. And so everybody in the office started telling me to go to hospital to find out the actual cause of the headache. So I decided to go to hospital. The doctor sent me they ran a test. They couldn't see anything. He sent me for an x-ray. I went. The x-ray came out. Nothing was wrong with me, but I was dying. The headache was actually killing me. I was dying. It lasted for 3 months. My eyes were always red in color, pure red. So I called my husband and I begged him. I told him that I want to cut my hair, that I'm actually dying. You know, it took him some time for him to accept, because, you know, in Igbo culture, there's this belief that a woman whose husband is still alive has no right to cut her hair. So that was why I took the permission from him and he accepted. And I went to barbing salon and cut my hair. And 3 days after, the whole pain vanished. The whole pain that I thought that I have sores on my scalp, everything vanished. There was no sore on my head. And then the problem still continued. They came again and told me to stop picking my eyebrows. I should stop using eye pencil on my eyebrows. I refused. And then they came with ugliness. Whenever I apply eye pencil on my eyebrows and go to work, I will look like a masquerade. To me, when I look at myself in the mirror, I look beautiful. But when I get to work, everybody will be scared. They all say one thing, that I look like a masquerade, that I don't look good. Every day, my colleagues will be telling me that I look like a masquerade, I look scary, that I should clean off the eye pencil or ask someone to, draw it very well. And this is something I've been doing for years. And all of a sudden, I started looking like a masquerade. So it dawned on me that I am supposed to stop applying anything on my eyebrows. And so I stopped. The moment I stopped, that was how I started getting messages. You are going to use this to do this. Use this to do this. Use this to do this. If anybody is suffering from this, this is what you are supposed to do. If anybody is passing through this, this is what you are supposed to do. And these messages keeps on coming. As long as you are still praying, you keep on getting messages. And that is how my life started. That is how my life started. That is how everything about this spirituality that concerns me started. If you ask me till date, if you know my siblings, they will tell you what I always say. I still want that celebrity lifestyle. If it's possible for me to go back to that lifestyle, I will go back. But then I can no longer go back. I don't have that power to go back. If I ever try to go back, I will have a serious problem. My life could be in danger. So this is how everything about this spiritual issue started. This is how we started. And as each day passes by, it still draws me closer to God. Although, being a human being that I am, I know that I am naturally stubborn. And sometimes that stubbornness makes me to be disobedient. There are things that I'll be asked to do, and I will refuse to do it. I will refuse bluntly to do that. And I will give excuses why I am not supposed to do it. And it will still backfire on me. And the reason why I refuse to do all these things is because when I started initially, people were making mockery of me. People were making fun of me. If I approach anybody and tell the person, please, this is what I saw, this is what you are supposed to do, they will laugh at me like, who the hell are you? Where did you start? Where did you come from? The insult was so much that I decided to pull away from people entirely. I pulled away. I even pulled away from church. I stopped attending church because the mockery was more from the church. My parish members, my co-parishioners were kind of making mockery of me, those who knew me too well. They make mockery of me. If I approach any of them to tell them that this is what I saw about you, they will look at me from head to toe, and before you know it, they will gather together and start discussing about me, start laughing. And I pulled away from church. I stopped going to church. My husband begged me, I refused. I told him that nobody will push me into going to church until I have the zeal to start church again. Not just church, I pulled away from so many things like women's meeting, anything that will require that I will gather together with people. I pulled away from everything because I was still trying to find out who I am. And I wanted to know actually if it is God that is giving me all these messages. And so I pulled away from everything. And whatever message I received, I started putting them into practice. And then I started noticing that they are actually working. I decided to join church back again. I joined church again with my full chest. So no matter what anybody says this time around, I do not care. I have made up my mind right now. Even if heaven and earth is falling, I still do not care. Because I know the God that called me. And I know the gift he gave me. And I know the powers that I possess. And up till now, a lot of people are still questioning how everything started. Who am I actually? Some people even ask me face to face, where do you belong? Are you a native doctor? There are some of my friends, very close friends. If I tell them what to do, when God reveals something about them, and let me tell you people how God reveals something about people to me. If I know you, but maybe it's been a long time since we saw each other last, and you are passing through hell, if God wants to help you through me, he will bring you up before me. He will tell me everything about you, and he will tell me what to do for you. And this is where I am having problem. For all these people that I've not seen for a very long time, whenever I try to get their contact to contact them and tell them what God said I should do for them, they see it as a joke. They try to make fun of me. Okay? And so whenever they receive that message with that questioning attitude or doubt in them, I don't go further anymore. Once I give you the question, I will pull away from you. I will no longer contact you. If you are very sure that you need the help, and then you contact me. If you don't need the help, no problem. Sometimes I don't even need to know I don't need to know who you are. But maybe God knows that our paths will cross one day. He will tell me everything about you. And there are times when he will tell me people's names. He will mention people's names. He will tell me where I will find those people. And when I go into investigation, I will discover that actually there is somebody like this staying here, passing through this. But some of the people who are still closer to me still see me as a joke. They still see me as a joke because I joke around. I love playing. I play a lot. I play a lot, even though I'm an introvert. But if you come closer to me, if I get to know you too well, you will know that I play a lot. And so maybe because of that playing, they don't take me serious. Whenever I talk about anything spirituality, they'll look at me like, are you for real? I just hope that the person who requested for this video is live. I hope you are live. I want to tell you that everything about spirituality didn't start now. It started a long time ago, but I never realized it. I didn't realize it on time. I realized it late. That was just 2 years ago. I decided to answer my call 2 years ago. Okay? So, but for whoever that wants to doubt, no problem. That is life. If you want to doubt, you are free to doubt. If you want to believe, you are free to believe. But I know the God that I serve. I know the God that called me. And I know what he can do through me. I have limits as a human being, yes. I can't claim to know everything. I can't claim to do everything. There are messages he will give me about somebody, but he will tell me that I will not be the one to do it. And he will tell me the person that will perform that thing for the person. If he gives me a message about somebody, and I happen to be the one that will perform that, he will tell me everything. But if I am not, he will tell me that I'm not the one to do it. So I cannot claim to know everything and have the power to do everything. No, I have limits. I know what I'm capable of doing. I know what I'm capable of doing. And in anything that has to do with spirituality, we know the good side. We know the bad side. Yes. Anything that has to do with spirituality. We know the good side. We know the bad side. We know how to help. We know how to destroy. But this is where you will now know which God that called you. Because the God that called me is not a God that destroys someone's happiness. It's not a God that destroys your joy. He's a God that brings things together to make you happy. But we all know the bad ways. But we tend to suppress those bad ways and to make use of the good ones. Because if you decide to start making use of the bad way, there are people that will patronize you based on that. But then you will not last long. You will not last long. One day, your sins will find you out. So for the person that requested for this post, for this video, the person that asked me how everything started, don't be shocked. Anyway, you can be shocked if you want, but this is how it all started, and there is no going back. I cannot go back anymore. I cannot go back anymore. I have come far. I have seen a lot. I have seen more than my age mates. I have experienced so many things more than my age mates. More than even those who are older than me. I have experienced more than enough. So whatever I teach out of experience. Whatsoever I teach out of how God taught me, out of how my guardian angel taught me, out of how I got the information. I don't give my teachings or practice my spiritual work based on what somebody said I should do. Maybe someone called me on the phone, maybe someone who is powerful, and asked me to, when somebody comes, do this for this person. No. If you tell me that, fine, no problem. But then I won't do it. I will have to wait until I get that message from God, if that thing is actually correct. Because we have different ways of performing this spiritual exercise. We have so many ways. Just like there is salt as something that God has created. But there are so many ways you can use salt for spiritual exercise. How I use it might be totally different from how another person uses the salt. But they will all still come down to one result. So everything about spirituality that has to do with me didn't start now. I believe is inborn in me. That is what I believe in, but it's just that I realized it late. But whenever I listen to my siblings talk about me, they always tell me that right from childhood, as a very little girl, at a tender age, that I love going to church so much, so much. And from the time I can remember, yes, I know I love going to church so much. And sometimes I don't want to come back home. I want to stay in the church. Okay? But at least now everything have come to limelight. I can now tell who I am. I can now tell what I can do. I know what I can do. I know what I cannot do. I know what I see. I know what I hear. There are times when I will be praying. If you have ever experienced this, I want you to, notify us here. Just say it here. There are times when I will be praying, when I'm deep into prayer. It looks as if I am no longer in this world. It looks as if I am no longer in this world. It will look as if I am floating, and the language I am speaking will change, will totally change. It has happened to me several times, that sometimes I will stop praying to understand the language that I'm speaking, but then I cannot understand that language, but I will know fully well that I am neither speaking in English language or speaking Igbo language. I will be speaking a different language. I'm not talking about speaking in tongues, no. I will be speaking a different language, but I will know the meaning of what I'm saying, but I cannot say that language with my senses. I don't know if it has ever happened to anybody. But like now, what I have started noticing of recent now, whenever I am praying, I'll be hearing voices. It looks as if those voices are telling me what to say. That is what I started noticing since 2 weeks now. Whenever I'm praying, I will be hearing voices like the voices will be telling me what to say and how to say it. That is why I always call on my guardian angel whenever I'm praying to come and help me out. So that the ones I don't say well, he should modify them and make them appear good. There are times, maybe this one you will equally experience this, when you are singing praises and you are deep into that praises. You will notice that you are not the only one singing that praises. I don't know if anybody has ever witnessed this. You will notice that you are not the only one singing the praises. You will hear voices joining you. It has happened to me more than enough time. And whenever I stop, I will no longer hear any voice. Everywhere will be so quiet. When I continue and go deep into the praises, the voices will join me again. And I don't think that the voice of the devil can join you in praising God. It's not possible. I don't think the voice of demon can join you in praising God. They will not do that. So, for those of us who are called, we are called in different ways. We all answered our calls in different ways and in different times. Some people answered their calls so early as right from primary school. Some people answered their calls in their old age. But I answered my call now. And I believe no time is late as long as you are still alive. No time is late. Whatever that God wants to accomplish through you, he will accomplish all those things through you before your end. So this is all about me. This is how everything about me started. And as each day goes by, it progresses. As days goes by, it progresses. As days goes by, as long as I keep praying, the power keeps increasing. And it is because the power increases, that is why I have a lot of people who come up here now to call me a witch, to say that I use charms, that I use juju. Why? Because they have tried spiritually and it didn't work. They have done everything humanly possible to bring me down and it didn't work. They have used their powers on me and it still didn't work. Because as you get mature in spirituality, there are certain things that can no longer get to you. It's not about bragging. I'm not bragging now. I'm telling you the gospel truth. As years goes by in your spiritual walk, there are things that can no longer get to you. Before they get to you, you get the information. It's either you scatter it or you return it back to sender, or however you want to do it. I believe that is the stage I am now. And this stage is a very critical stage. It's a very dangerous stage because you will be receiving all kinds of attacks coming from here and there. You will be receiving all kinds of temptations. You will receive so many things just to make you stop answering that call. So many things. It's a very critical stage right now. A very critical stage. And at this stage, it will look as if God has abandoned you. It will look as if God just stepped aside to watch you, to see how you can handle things. No, but he didn't step aside. At this stage now, he is before you. He's actually the one fighting that battle, which you think you are the one fighting. This stage is the most dangerous stage in spirituality. It's the most dangerous stage. When you get to this stage, now that you know your powers, you know what you can do, that is when the devil will unleash his demons. And they will try you from all angles. And these trials, don't think that these trials will come from far places. No. They will start from where you are. They will start from your family. The trials, the temptations will start from your family. How you handle everything will determine how mature you are spiritually. How you handle it. And you don't flex your powers on your family. You don't do that. If you do that, you will get the repercussion. When the temptations are coming from your family, all you need to do is to table the matter to God. It will look as if your family is winning, but let God handle everything. You don't use your powers on your family. Except when the family is about to take down your life, for those who have wicked family members. Except when they want to take down your life. Right now, at this stage that I am, my temptation now, my challenges, now the major challenge I am facing now is my husband. He's my major challenge. He is my major challenge. And then there is nothing I can do. I am kind of helpless. My hands are tied. I can't do anything but to channel everything to God. I can't do anything. I keep on channeling everything to God. Because there are things he is preventing me from doing. The things that God has asked me to do. The things I am supposed to do for people. He is actually preventing me from doing it. Because I'm the wife. And then, disobeying him is going out of what you were asked to do. If I disobey him, God will still not be happy with me. So what I do is to call that God. I'll call him. Of course, he's aware of what is happening. To tell him, these are my challenges. As a wife, I'm not supposed to disobey him. So let God help me out. However God will do it for me, let him help me out. Okay? So if you are called, please don't be shy to answer your call. I know I was shy answering this call. But I'm telling you now, don't be shy to answer your call. Don't mind what people will say. Even if you don't answer your call, people will still say, because not answering it will make you fall into all kinds of troubles, which you cannot help yourself from. And then people will still talk. They will call you all sorts of names. When you answer, they will talk. When you don't answer, they will talk. If you decide to become a priest, now a Catholic priest, The next thing they will call you is a womanizer, that you should come out from there and get married. You are chasing women up and down. You decide to become a reverend in Anglican church or a pastor, the ones that get married. They will still talk. You are using the church congregation to take care of your family. You are using the church money to travel outside the country. Your family is living large, living well. Your congregation are suffering. They will still talk. If you answer your call as a spiritualist, that is the worst. They will call you all kinds of names. They will ask you all kinds of irrelevant questions. Why don't you pray? Why are you using this thing instead of praying? And I keep on wondering, why is God showing us all these things for us to use instead of asking us to keep on praying? Why is God showing us the things that he has created, what they can do for us, and how we can use them and make them to work for us? Why is God showing us all these things? Since God knows that prayer is the ultimate. And then you answer your call as the native doctor, the worst. You will go to hellfire. People will call you, they will tell you will go to hellfire. You don't have any seats in heaven, nothing, no position for you in heaven. So the best thing for you to do is to do that which God has asked you to do. Forget about human beings. They will always talk. Human beings will always talk. Even now as I'm talking to you, somebody that I hold so dear to my heart, somebody that I always fight for, I always make sure that people doesn't talk bad about her, because I see her as an angel. I see her as a wonderful woman. I go out of my way to pray for this lady, to make sure that nothing happens to her. But this is the same lady that talked about me, that she knows who I am, that I've been camouflaging as a Christian, pretending to be a Christian, meanwhile that I am a native doctor, that she knows the powers that I use. And this is someone that I can stay up awake in the night for her sake, praying for her. This is someone I went out of my way to make sure that a cloth she was suspecting to have been charmed, a cloth that was given to her to wear, which she reported to me. I backed this lady up with prayers. I collected that cloth from her to avoid what happened before in her life from repeating itself again. This is equally the same lady that made mockery of me, called me names, that I'm pretending to be a Christian, that I'm a native doctor, that she knows where I got my powers from. I tabled the matter before God because this is what I do. I was short of words when I heard it. I tabled the matter before God. And God told me to, step aside from that case. I shouldn't do anything. I should allow him to handle everything. And I decided to step aside. Yes, I let go of everything, even though it still hurts me. It still hurts me because I know what I have done for this lady. Spiritually, that's what I'm talking of. I know what I've done for her spiritually. I thought I was doing it for a friend or for a sister. I never knew that she has something else in mind. So if you are spiritually called, never you listen to people. Those people that call you names, one day will come back in secret, in the dark, to seek for your help, to seek for your assistance. That is how this world is. When people are castigating any man of God or any woman of God, just don't join them. Don't join them. All those people talking rubbish about the men of God and the women of God will go behind everybody in secret to seek for those people's help, to seek for their guidance, to see if there is anything they can do for them spiritually to help them out. We human beings, we are so cunning in nature. We are so cunning, we are evil, we are wicked. They will join you in making mockery of someone, and then in the secret, they will go behind. And you won't know anything. You won't know what is happening. So if you are called spiritually, and maybe your reason for not answering your call is because of what people will say, let me tell you, even if you get to the age of 70 years, God can keep you up to 100 years just to make sure that you answer that call. You cannot die without answering your call. It's not possible. You must answer it, no matter the problems that will come out to face you. You will pass through so many challenges, but none of those challenges will ever bring you down. God will not allow those challenges to bring you down until you answer your call, because you must surely answer it. He's not going to leave you to go like that. That is God for you, and I want you to know that. So if you are hiding from answering your call because of what people will say, he can keep you to 100 years. Even if you get to 80 years and you decide to answer it, you will still work for him in that your old age. So the earlier, the better. And as days goes by, you get more familiar with what you are doing. You become more powerful with what you are doing. It will be so difficult for anybody to challenge you and win that challenge. That is, if you know the God that called you. It will be so difficult for anybody, whosoever, if they like, let them go to the highest place to get their powers. If you know the God that called you, it will be difficult for anybody with any power that is not the power of God to win any challenge that you are in with. So shying away from people is time wasted. You are wasting your time, because you will definitely answer your call, and those people will definitely talk. They will talk. They will call you names. Some will praise you. Some will hate you. Some will push you beside. Some will decide to forget about you entirely. And when you answer your calls, I want to tell you, if care is not taken, your friends will desert you. You start making friends afresh. Your old friends will desert you. You are no longer on the same page with them. Yes, because when you answer your calls, your mentality automatically changes. It changes. Your reasons changes. Everything about you will change. Everything about you will change. There are decisions you can no longer take on your own. Before you take any decision, you will wait until you get a message. And that will contradict to what people do. You know, how you were living your life. So don't look at people. That's what I want to tell you. Don't look at people. Just go ahead and answer your call. I'm telling you that you will never regret this. You know, whenever we talk about answering calls, people believe that I did that. I thought that when you answer your call, you will now change from a pretty girl to a very ugly girl. You will now change from putting on flashy wears into putting on dull colors. You change from being a sharp babe into being a dull babe. But that's not true. It's not true. That I cut my hair doesn't mean that if you are called as a woman that you are going to cut your hair. No. Calling differs. I have said this several times. Calling differs. That I no longer apply makeup doesn't mean that when you are called, you will not apply makeup. No. It's not that way. I have seen so many pretty ladies with beautiful makeups who are called. That is the way they were called. I am called in a very different way. And as each day passes by, you keep on receiving instructions. You keep on receiving instructions, not just things to do for people, but equally for yourself also. As each day passes by, your daily lifestyle will now be determined by God, no longer by you. Your daily lifestyle will be determined by Him. Everything about you will change. I was telling my elder sister that I noticed something which is happening to me of recent. This one just started newly. And that thing is, I have noticed that whenever I put on a necklace, it will look as if someone is strangling me. Each day I go to work with necklace on my neck. Before you know it, I'll pull off the necklace, put it inside my handbag, and I'll be okay. But if I don't remove it, it will look as if someone is strangling me. I have noticed that for like 2 weeks now. But if I put on an ordinary bead, you know, bead is soft. Nothing will happen to me. But the moment I put on a chain necklace, it will look as if someone is strangling me. I have never experienced this in my life. It just started like 2 weeks ago. And so throughout this week, I didn't put on any necklace. I'm still monitoring to know if they don't want me to be wearing chain necklaces any longer. That is why I said as each day goes by, your lifestyle will change. They will be telling you things to do and things not to do. Whatever that will contradict to what they are teaching you, they will ask you to stop it. And if there are things they want you to be doing which you are not doing, they will let you know. So if you have any spiritual gift, you are called, and up till now you are still shy, you don't know how to answer your call. You don't want to answer your call because people will call you Mbweke. You don't want to answer your call because your friends will desert you. If you don't want to answer the call now, you still answer it later. If you think you can run away from it, you are joking. You will not run away from it. You can never run away from it. You must answer the call. It's a must. It's a must. If God calls you, you cannot run away from it. How can you run away from a being that you don't see? It's not possible. So forget about what people will tell you. Forget about what people will say about you, because they will definitely talk. Forget about all those things. They will make mockery of you. But in the end, they will still come back to you. That is how God has made it. In the end, they will still come back to you. I know a lot of people that I gave messages like last year that brushed it aside, this and that. And this year, they started coming up that they can't remember exactly what I said last year. That can I, tell them that message again? Can I? If I give you a message, I've given you a message. And if you want me to bring up that message again, then you have to give me time to pray. You have to give me time to pray for me to bring up that message again. Because there are times when messages will be given to me. That is why whenever I get message for anybody, some of us who are online here, if I have ever given you message, you will notice that I give my messages early in the morning. I give my message whenever I wake up after my morning prayer. That is the time I will contact the person and give the person the message. Because if I don't give you that message early in the morning, I would definitely forget about that message. And I can no longer remember it. So whenever a message is given to me concerning somebody, either what to do for you or what to tell you to do for yourself, that's what I do after my morning prayers. I'll give you the messages. But then all these people that you give message, 5 months, 6 months after, 7 months after, they'll come back to ask you, what did you tell me the last time? There is no way I can remember that message. I know my siblings they've told me several times to keep my pen handy with paper so that whenever I get message, I'll write it down. But then I do forget. I do forget. But for the ones I remember, I will just give out that message immediately. So this is everything about Ogechi Olumba. This is how Ogechi Olumba turned from a sharp babe into a spiritualist. Not my own will, not my own accord, but God. That is how God has kept my destiny. That is how he wants me to live my life. But then I am not regretting it and will never, ever regret it. If there had been somebody around me all the years that people were telling me to answer my call, if there's anybody that had, helped me out, I would have answered my call that time. By now, I will know how far. I will know where I will be. But all the same, I am still not regretting it because I know what God has done for me. God did for me what man can never, ever, ever, ever do. There are so many impossible things. When I mean impossible things, I mean very difficult things that God has done. Do you know that it is possible for God to destroy a community for the sake of one person? Do you know it's very possible for God to do that? Do you know that it's possible for God to hide something from the eyes of everybody in a state, all because of one person? Do you know it's very possible? That is what God is doing for me. That thing that will make me cry. If it means God turning the state upside down, he will turn the whole state upside down. And everybody in Imo State will be in chaos, asking what is actually wrong. But it's because I knelt down and called on him. And he decided to do that for my sake. But then it turned out that it will affect everybody in Imo State. Just to make me happy. Just to wipe away my tears. That's the God I am telling you about. That is the and you want me to go back and forget about all these luxuries I'm getting from him. I don't know how to explain this. I don't know how to explain this. Whatever that will bring tears to my eyes, even if it means shutting down Imo State, God will do it for my sake. He has done it before. At least he has done it twice for me. Imo State was in chaos. Imo State was in chaos in terms of politics, all because of me, but nobody knew. Because I knew that if everything works out the normal way, I will cry. I will cry. My life will be in shambles. And then I went down on my knees and I begged him. I begged him to help me out because I don't know how it will work. I don't know how he's going to do it. But he did it. He did it. He turned everything upside down. He turned everything upside down, all for my sake. That is the God that I serve. That is the God that I worship. The God that I am so proud of. And that is why when I tell you people that I am in love with him, it looks like I'm going mad. I don't care. I fall in love with God like I am falling in love with my fellow human being. I am in love with him like I am in love with a man, a man who is equally a human being. I am so much in love with him. And that is why I always have the courage to ask for the impossibility. And he makes that possible for me. For me. So when I walk with my head high. I walk with my shoulders raised high. If I want to brag, I brag with his name. Because whenever you brag with his name, you see him in action. You will know who he is. You will know how powerful he is. So when I want to brag, I brag with his name. Because I have seen him in action. He has done what nobody ever thought would ever happen. He did it for me. A very powerful God. A mighty one at that matter. So if you are called, please answer your call. You will never regret it. You think if you answer your call, money will run away from you. Money will never, ever run away from you. Money will keep on following you. Money will keep on following you. As long as you are still with God. Unless you decide to deviate. Maybe when you think you have enough power, you now want to deviate and join other forces. That is when you will know if truly he is that God. Because he's going to allow every kind of problem to come your way. As a spiritualist, do I have attacks? Yes. Attacks that can take away your life. At times that can make you to become a vegetable. But then, the moment he sends his angel to give me the message, I will know that he's aware. And before you know it, I am up. I am bouncing again. I am back again. Yes, I do have attacks. That I'm a spiritualist doesn't mean that everything is working out fine for me, that nobody can do anything. No! I am now at that critical stage where attacks keeps on coming every now and then. I am now at that stage. But before they come, he will notify me. No matter how people decide to hide it and then send it to me, before it gets to me, he will notify me. He will tell me what to do. So this is Ogechi. This is who I am. This is what I am. My powers are from God Almighty. My powers are not from any deity. My powers are not from the ocean. My powers are not from anywhere. This is Ogechi. My power is from God Almighty. And as each day goes by, just like people who are into diabolical powers, they renew their charm. As each day goes by, he renews my power. And I have more courage in him. He strengthens me, strengthens my faith. There are times when it seems as if my faith is no more, it's going down. But before it drops flat, he will give me one reason to know that he is still with me. So this is who I am. I don't know what else to tell you about me. This is who I am. Nothing more, nothing less. If you have any question, please go ahead and ask. Bring your questions. Let's look into it and see if we can answer it. Keep your questions coming. For the person who asked me to come up live and say who I am, I've done my part, and I believe you've heard everything I said. You've heard it. But if you want to, like I always tell people, I believe in investigation. Please, you have the right to take my name to wherever you want to take my name and investigate. You have the right to do so. Take my name, Ogechi Olumba. Go and investigate spiritually about me and get your answers, get your findings, okay? I don't have any other thing to say. Please keep your questions coming if you have any question. No, Lugard, in the beginning of all this, I was scared. When all these things started, I was really scared because I can't tell, I thought I was going mad. You know, it's not easy for you to, you stay in a parlor and then you see a being walk past you. You see a spirit walk past you. You go to bed, you lie down, you're about to shut your eyes and you notice that a spirit came inside your room. It's not easy. It was so scary. But as each day goes by, God strengthens me. No, I cannot become a pastor. I'm not called to be a pastor. No, and I'm not called to be a prophetess. I can't be whom God said that I am not. I am not called to be a pastor, a prophetess. No. And nothing will ever make me. Because I know a lot of people, majority, some people in US, they have asked me to open up a ministry so that they will join the ministry, this and that. I told them no. That one is over my dead body. I know we are advised not to say over my dead body, yes. But I'm saying it because I am not called to open up any ministry. I am a Catholic by denomination, and I will remain a Catholic until I die by the special grace of God. So, okay, thank you, user 98828. Thank you so much. User 396929. I have said this before. I am not a seer. Our calling differs. I am a spiritualist that handles spiritual cases. When you bring your case to me, and then I look into your case, if it's the case, if it's where God has called me, I will handle it. If it's not where he has called me, I will let you know so that you look for those who can handle it. But as for seer, I'm not a seer. If I want to know more about you, all I need to do is pray with your name. If God wishes to tell me anything about you, he will tell me. If he doesn't want to tell me, then I will not force him. That is how I get to know of people. Sometimes I don't pray with people's name. He comes to me, he tells me everything about people and what to do for them. Sometimes I pray with their names, asking God, tell me about this person. And if he wishes, he will tell me. So for me to look at you and tell you your future, no, I'm not a seer. That one is meant for those who are called as seers. What kind of spirit did you see? Any spirit. The spirits of dead people. Any spirit at all. And of recent, I started seeing these four forces of nature the way they are. I started seeing them the way they are in their spiritual form. More especially, the land. I have told us these things before, that these four forces of nature are spirits. Of recent, I've started seeing the land the way it is as a spirit. So it is all kinds of spirit that you can see. It now depends on you as that gifted person to know how to communicate with those spirits if you actually want to communicate with them. I, for one, I don't like communicating with the dead, even though sometimes I don't have a choice. Of course, I must interact with them. When they come to tell me what happened, this and that, you will have to interact with them, but then they always come with a message for you to help them out. I cannot help the dead. I am here to help the living, not to help the dead. And I always tell them that. I don't want to open up that channel for the dead to be coming every now and then for me to help them. No. I told God to close the channel. I can't help them. If once you are dead, you are dead. Allow me to be. Patience. You can start by visiting hospital. That was how I started. I started by visiting hospitals. You go for hospital visitation. You pray for the sick. That is how you will know how that gift you have works. Okay? Make sure you are praying on a daily basis, asking God to make that gift manifest. Let God manifest the gift of healing very well. And then you start with hospital visitation. And wherever you are and you notice about someone who is sick, don't hesitate. Just go straight and pray for the person. Yes, Chris. I have 3 kids. And I have noticed that one of them will take over from me. I'm not sure. But I have noticed that 2 out of the 3 are spiritually gifted. And they happen to be the 2 boys that I have. They are spiritually gifted, but they are running away. And as a matter of fact, I begged one of them to come up live with me tonight, as if I knew that somebody would ask this question. I begged one of them to come to live with me to talk about what he sees and what he hears about spirituality, but they don't want to have anything to do with this. They are running away just like I was running away, but I know it is not yet time for them to start making use of their gift. Once the time comes, God will surely hijack them. Thank you so much. Yes, Pajiego, this spiritual gift is running in my family. It's running in my family. We are 11 in number that my mother gave birth to. And out of that 11, we are up to 3 or 4 that are spiritually gifted. And 2 of us, 2 out of that 4 have started making use of their gift. That is I and my elder sister, remaining the remaining 2. 1 is actually a pastor, okay? Remaining 1. That one is yet to answer his call to make use of his gift. So it's running in our family. And it's going down to the grandchildren in the family. The 11 of us are all married. The guys are married, the ladies are married, and all the grandchildren so far, we have like 1 or 2 amongst the grandchildren who are spiritually gifted. But all of them are still running away from this calling. All of them are still running away. And from what I am seeing amongst them, they will be greater than us. Their own gift is so special, but they are still running away. It's not yet time. Okay, so keep your questions coming. Huggins, I don't understand what you mean by seeing white. White color or white men or what? Is it in your dream or in reality? I don't understand. I also have that feeling. I see so many things in my dream and they come like this in reality. That's equally a gift, but you need to make it work well. Whatsoever you see, I always tell people this. If you know that your dreams always comes to pass, stop shutting your mouth whenever you dream. When you dream, open up and tell somebody. So that if it requires that people need to go into action to save situations, there will still be enough time to do that. Okay? So you make it work very well because you have to use it to help mankind. Yes, they are still young. That's why they are still running away. And you don't force people into such things. You don't, like, I won't force them because nobody forced me. I will not force them. Once the time is right, God will call them. But once the time is right, he will hijack them. 98828. You want me to pray for you? Okay? So how are we going to do that? How are we going to do that? Love her. Thank you so much. God bless you. Cletus, I'm not a seer. And see, let me tell you people, a lot of people believe that seeing vision for people is easy. I want to tell you it's not easy. I don't have the gift of vision. I have the gift of dreams. And whenever I ask questions about people, if it pleases God, he will tell me about the people. But the reason why I don't like bringing people's names to ask questions is because whenever I ask questions about people, before the message comes, it gives me headache. I will start feeling that headache here. It gives me headache. Okay, that is why I don't like, asking God to tell me about this person, tell me about this person. I prefer him on his own telling me. If he comes on his own to tell me about somebody, I won't feel any headache. Nothing will happen to me. But whenever I ask the question, before I get that message, I will start having headache. And if everything about spirituality is not as easy as people think it is. Okay, Huggins, now what you need to do, since it's, okay, not in your dreams, when you are awake, what you need to do is, first of all, you have to go into prayers. Now, secondly, you need to concentrate. The white orbs you are seeing, you need to concentrate, because from seeing the white orbs, it will transform to show you the true picture that they want you to see. Maybe your spiritual eyes is about to open. That is why you are seeing the white orbs. Maybe your spiritual eyes is about to open. So what you need is constant prayer and concentration. You concentrate. Whenever you see that white orbs, you pray and you concentrate. From there, it will manifest into what they want you to see. Yes, Ajiego, we thank God. We are truly blessed. Okay. Thank you, Chris. Thank you so much. I don't know if I am pronouncing this well. Awuni Samuel. Getting closer to God is something of the mind. Nobody will push you into getting closer to God. People can only talk you into that, but nobody will force you. It is something that you need to make up your mind. Doesn't mean that when you get closer to God that life will become rosy for you. No. You will have trials and temptations. You will have problems of all kinds. But in all things, He will always be there for you. You will scale through in the midst of all these problems. You will always scale through. So it is something you need to make up your mind, and you pray constantly. For you to come closer, you cannot come closer to God by not praying. When you pray constantly, that is how you draw closer to Him. So that's all I can tell you. To increase your prayer life. Increase your prayer life. Okay? And when you pray, you have faith in Him. You trust Him wholeheartedly. No matter the situation you find yourself in, you trust Him and you pour out your heart to Him. Don't hide anything. Don't pretend like you can handle things. If you cannot handle anything, let Him know, in as much as He knows, but say it out. Speak it. And then He will come in fully. Okay, Huggins, thank you so much. That's what I'm telling you, Huggins. You can't really tell if they are angels. That is why I said you need prayer, so that they will manifest very well for you to know what they actually are. Because that is how, whenever people's spiritual eyes are about to open, some will start seeing flowers. Some people will start seeing flowers at first. Some people will start seeing garden at first. Some people will only be seeing clouds. Wherever they are, they'll be seeing, they don't need to look up. Whatever they look, they will see clouds. That is how people's spiritual eyes normally open. But when you pray constantly, from seeing the clouds will start getting clearer, and then you start seeing the exact thing that they want you to see. My dear Bajiego, if we start judging by what is actually going on in the church, nobody will go to church. Nobody. I understand what you are saying. It's equally in my parish. If I decide to pull away because of the happenings in the church, I don't think anybody will say that I am wrong. No. I don't think anybody will say that I am wrong. But then, it's an individual race. You cannot run away because of the atrocities that are being committed in the church. You cannot run away. I go to church to focus on God. That is what I do. I don't care about that priest that is officiating the mass for that day. I don't care about whoever that is staying beside me. I go to church to focus on God. And if there is anything that I need to do for church on my own, I will do it without anybody telling me what to do. That is my approach now. Okay, I can understand with you, Patience. You are in a Muslim state. Oh, okay. All right. Since your faith and their faith is not the same, just continue with your prayers. But whenever you go out, wherever you are, and you notice that someone is sick, you ask them. That is what I do. You don't just start praying. I will ask you that I want to pray for you. Will you allow me? If they say yes, I'll go ahead and pray. If they say no, I will leave them. So this is how you can start, okay? To avoid being in trouble. Okay, Huggins, have you seen it? I believe your spiritual eyes is opening gradually. Please keep it up. Don't allow it to shut. Keep it up. Now that it's opening, continue your prayers. Continue your prayers and make sure you concentrate. As you pray daily, gradually they will start opening very well. You will stop seeing the gardens and the flowers. You will start seeing what God wants you to see. Hi, congratulations. I'm so happy for you. Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Congratulations, Huggins. May it continue. Ajego, I know it rubs off on us. I know about that. But then, we all have our individual race to run. Okay? I can't run away from church because the church members are misbehaving. If I cannot correct them, then I'll mind myself. I'll focus on the reason why I am a Christian. Because no matter every church has these members that misbehaves and gives the church bad name. It's in every church. It's in every church. But the reason why we go to church is because we need to enter into the house of God. I know that you can pray in your house, but there is equally these special blessings that you can get whenever you visit church. There are times when our faith will go down, our spirit will go down, and you will have the zeal to go to church. When I get to that stage, yes, sometimes I don't go to church. I will just stay at home, focus to find out what is actually wrong with me. And before you know it, my faith will rise up again, and then I will continue. Okay? You are welcome, Huggins. You are welcome. Miracle, good evening. How are you? Okay, so keep your questions coming. Keep your questions coming. No matter the challenges you are facing as a Christian, no matter the challenges you are facing, keep your head high. That's all I can say. Focus on God. Focus on God. Sometimes our spirits will drop. Our faith will drop. But don't lose trust in God. Don't lose hope on God. Focus on Him. He will still make that your faith to rise up. He will give you the reason to get up again. He will give you the reason to believe that He's still God. All right? So I'm still waiting for more questions. Okay. Thank you, Luga. Thank you so much. How someone can steal or tap from your gift without you knowing it. It's possible, but at the same time, it depends on what you mean by stealing from your gift. Sometimes people do that when you are unaware, but you will give consent to it without realizing it. Because it's not just by touching your body. No. Sometimes we give consent to that. More especially, somebody will know how spiritually powerful you are and will want you to touch his or her palms. It has happened so much to me. There was a time I went for school run. When my children were small. I was waiting for them to dismiss when they were still in secondary school. While I was waiting, two ladies approached me. The moment they came to me, they knelt down before me. I don't know these ladies, I haven't seen them. They knelt down before me and greeted me. I got up immediately, I shifted, I looked around to be sure that they were actually coming to me. They started telling me that I'm the one that they have been looking for. And I asked them who they are. They told me their names, told me where they're coming from, that thank God that they have seen me face to face. And I asked them, how did you know? Have we met? They said no, that we haven't met, but that they got that message a long time ago. And they brought out their palms and asked me to touch them and give them blessings. At first I refused because I thought they were ritualists. I refused. But then, while they were still talking, I was praying within me. Okay? I was praying within me, and I got the courage to touch them. And so I laid my palms on them, and I touched them, and I prayed for them. And I equally asked them to pray for me, and they prayed for me. And then they left, rejoicing, hugging each other. So when they left, I noticed that I thought I was fainting, I started losing strength in me. So what I did was to open the car, and I went inside and sat down. I remained in the car until my children came out, and I couldn't tell what actually happened. But it was when I got home and told my husband what happened. And he told me that maybe their hands I touched must have removed some power from me. But then they didn't steal it, even though I gave consent to it without knowing it. So it's very much possible. It's very much possible. It can happen. All you need to do is, if it's something that you don't want, maybe someone comes closer to you, cunningly or jokingly ask you to do something that has to do with maybe your body or whatever. Check within yourself very well if you actually want to do that. Don't just do it so that you take the person away from you. It might be that tapping or stealing from your spiritual gift. Okay, Sister Uche. All right, thank you so much. Thank you. Have a good night. Miracle, bathing with salt and water every day. No. Spiritual cleansing cannot be done every day. Does it mean that you are spiritually unclean every now and then? No, spiritual cleansing is something you can do for 3 days or for 7 days, or highest 14 days. You can't be bathing with salt and water every day. No. I had to stop going to church and even anywhere really that has a lot of people because it feels overwhelming. Okay, some people do feel this way. It happens. Okay, you still have the spirit in you. Thank God the spirit is not cold. It's not cold. All you need to do is you pulled away from church for you to understand actually what is happening. That is what happened. But thank God you are still joining the online prayers. So keep on with the online prayers. If by the special grace of God, if God still needs your presence in the church, He knows what to do, and you start going to church. But for now, as long as you are still joining online prayers, continue. Your spirit is still on. It's not cold yet. Okay? They do it in a manipulative manner. Wow. So you have to be watchful. You have to be at alert every now and then. You have to be at alert. Thank you, Miracle. God bless you. Okay, Suche, thank you so much. Yes, whenever they tap that blessing from you, whenever they tap that power from you, it drains one's energy. It drains one's energy. So that's why we have to be careful. We don't have, especially shaking hands. I thought about this last night. Let's curtail, too much of shaking hands. Let's curtail too much on that. Martin, for those who are spiritually sick, it depends on their mentality. Church is not a toxic place for them. It depends on their mentality in the first place. When you are spiritually sick, You need a spiritual help. You can get that spiritual help from church, but it depends on one's mindset in the first place. If you have already ruled out church, then you cannot get help from the church. Church is not actually the problem. The problem is someone's mindset. Lot and his family were living in Sodom and Gomorrah, but they were not behaving like the people of Sodom and Gomorrah, and they were singled out and saved. So that you are staying where people who behave somehow are staying doesn't mean that you are one of them. It doesn't mean so that you are one of them. It depends on your mindset. If you wish to join them because everybody is doing that, it is your mindset. If you wish not to join them, it is still your mindset. So church is actually not the problem. Okay, and for someone who dreams a lot, what do you see in your dream? What do you see in your dream? Okay, you dream a lot, even when you are relaxing for some few minutes, you still have a dream. So what do you see in your dreams? Every dream is not a message. Some are just ordinary dreams. Some are just ordinary dreams. So keep your questions coming. I'm going to end this live stream in 15 minutes' time. Keep your questions coming. Whereby no questions are coming, then I'll have to end it. Keep your questions coming. Thank you, love it. Thank you, you're welcome. If you have any question to ask, please you go ahead and ask. Go ahead and ask your questions. We are all here to learn. We are all here to learn. And please, don't forget to share this live stream. I know we are about closing. And for those who join us late, I will still download this live stream. I'll download it and post. Okay, for those who want to know what we talked about. Okay? You dreamt where you laid your hand on a dying child and he woke up. That's a good dream. There's nothing wrong with this dream. There is nothing wrong with this dream. And then you check yourself to know if you have a spiritual gift. You check yourself. But Diego, spiritual cleansing can be done like first week of a month and last week of a month. First and last week of a month. That's when you can do spiritual cleansing. Whenever we enter into any new month, you perform your spiritual cleansing. Towards the closing of the month, end of the month, you perform the spiritual cleansing. Okay? All right, love it. Okay, you were told you have a calling. Now it's left for you to discover where God has called you. Those who told you has already seen that you are called. Now you are the one to discover where he has channeled you to. Where did he call you to work for him? But it is left for you to discover that. And you will discover it by the happenings around you, everything that happens around you. That is how you discover where God has channeled you to. Because everything happening around you will be hovering around that spiritual gift and how you solve the problem. Okay, gave you corner. I don't understand this dream. Wow, Martini, that's wonderful. 70 days fasting and prayer. That's wonderful. Keep it up. Keep it up. Okay, look at. Whenever you dream about a voice that tells you to read a psalm, and maybe you wake up, you can't remember that psalm any longer, the psalm that the voice asks you to read. If you are constant with your prayers, you will always remember the psalm. if you are constant with your prayers. Even if you don't remember anything, you will remember the psalm. And most of the time, there are times we will see the psalms given to us in the Bible, to pray, but we can't tell if they are actually signs. There are times when you go to bed and you dream of numbers. For those who play this game, they will call it that it's number. Number is totally different from psalm. If you dream and see numbers up in the sky, when you wake up and if you can remember the numbers, I want you to open up the psalms. Those numbers you saw in the dream, read that psalms. You will see that the psalms will be telling you about what is happening in your life or what you need to do. So whenever you dream and see numbers, don't just call it the game numbers. When you wake up and you remember those numbers, take up your Bible and read psalms that has to do with that number. Yes, Martini. That's their work, because they know that most of those dreams are messages. They know that problems can be solved through the dreams, and then they will make you forget your dream. And that is why I always advise people to make sure you pray before you go to bed. I know a lot of people can forget to pray in the morning, but don't forget to pray at night. Make sure you pray at night before you go to bed, because our attacks normally comes at night. So that when the attack comes, your prayers will help you to fight that war. Exactly, that's patience. Both of us are passing through the same thing. That is what happens to me. More especially whenever I stay with someone who is sick. Once I notice that you are sick and maybe I'm not in the mood to pray, I will start having that itches on my right palm. It will start sweating. I will start sweating all over my body. I will remain uncomfortable. My right hand will no longer remain at a place until I get to you and pray with you. Okay? So please, as you are experiencing this, don't let it die down. You need to make use of that gift to save humanity. The world needs help. The world needs help. All right, Lugard. God bless you so much. And may He be with you as you read it tonight. Okay, so I think I'm going to end the live stream now. And I don't know, I won't be coming up live tomorrow. Tomorrow is weekend. I always see weekend as a special day for me. That's a day of my rest. Even though the morning is not always easy for me, because there are things that I need to do in the morning apart from the house chores. So I don't think I'll come up live tomorrow night, but then I will come up live on Sunday nights. Yes, I'll come up live on Sunday nights. And I pray that God will help me out, okay? He will help me out and to tell me what to teach. There are times when I would say that I will come up live and then I won't know what to teach. But maybe 5 minutes to the time, I will get the message to teach about this. That's how it happens to me. So I want to thank all of you, those of us who are present tonight. I want to thank each and every one of you. God bless you so much for your time, for your data, for those who commented, for those who liked, for those who shared. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. And may God bless us all tonight. May He be with us tonight. May He watch over us tonight and wake us up tomorrow morning to give thanks to His holy name. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen. Thank you so much, everybody. Good night and God bless.